Body Count is one of those bands that is not even listed on Metal Archive's site, even though it's very, very metal from the beginning. Yes, we all know that it's done with rap metal lyrics, given that the Mr. Vocalist is the rapper Ice-T, but it's kinda crossover thrash metal at the same time. And now we have this album that came already out roughly 6 months ago, because coronavirus and everything got physical editions delayed. But here we have the Body Count album Carnivore, which came out I think in March. And here it is in full color, in a nice digipack format. Let's talk about that. Now, Body Count is mostly known for its vocalist Ice-T, which is then again one of the bigger names of hip-hop rap, however you want to call it. But it's not without merits. Everybody who has been ever into American metal, mainstream or otherwise, should know the band in question. And Body Count has been creating some of the more powerful American crossover thrash songs with lots of statements. Think about tracks like Cop Killers, and you're pretty sure to guarantee that, hey, these guys know how to create a reaction. Now, this new album is obviously there to prove a point once again, with strong lyrics, with Ice-T, phenomenal style, and of course the strong pounding riffing. And gotta say, my initial listening experience with this album was like, okay, this is pretty cool. This is pretty nice to listen to, but it's not groundbreaking. Well, I guess I still won't say groundbreaking, but I must say this is a strong album, stronger than what my initial response was. What I still agree with, though, with my thoughts when I was listening to this during the spring, is that this Lemmy homage with Ace of Spades cover is kind of useless. Previously, Ice-T and the rest of the crew have done nice work. For example, when decided to cover Suicidal Tendencies song Institutionalized. But that was kind of a fresh take on a kind of a classic, forgotten classic track. But when you're going to go Dutch with something like Ace of Spades, it's to be kind of a guaranteed to go off places. You really probably cannot make it better than Motorhead, so why even bother trying? But kudos for making this kind of a attempt anyway. Now, when it comes to the rest of the album, I think it's actually worth praising in so many ways. Okay, I'm gonna be clear about it. A lot of people won't like this album because it's done with kind of a rap mentality. That is, the vocals are done in rap style, what is the Ice-T forte. And for some people, that's gonna be too much. It's gonna be, I don't like this kind of a crossover. I'm way too conservative. I want to be my vocals to be done like it has been since 1970s. And I get it. Don't worry about it. I totally get it. This is not for everybody. You kind of have to have your certain set of mind in order to figure out what's going on in the crossover thrash metal world. Me, coming from that background, even though not being an American native or American people in the first place, I get it. I like it. I've been liking quite a few bands that have been going all over the places, different styles. And I remember liking when Anthrax did their kind of crossover version with Public Enemy back in the, I guess, was it late 80s, early 90s? I'm not even sure. When Slayer did their kind of a crossover stuff with early 90s with a rap group, etc. Those bands, those collaborations have really worked for me. And the same thing goes with Body Count. I saw the band a couple of years ago here in Tuska Festival, at Tuska Festival in Finland, and they were just great. Too bad I didn't get to do an interview, but doesn't really matter. What matters is that this album is, a good one, and it's done in a kind of a ways that it doesn't really sound like anything else. And in my books, in 2020 especially, originality is something that you really can't buy. Especially when you're trying to be good at the same time while being original. Usually, at least way too often, bands who aim for certain kind of originality and unique sound end up sounding crappy because they try to do it with a kind of hipster stuff. But, with Body Count, the thing is, you have these kind of a trash riffs, and some of them are really good. Kind of like Slayer, but even better at the same time, being Slayer and, still being body count. And, I think Ice-T personality and the way he sings these songs, I think it has a kind of a strong impact, how you will get this kind of a level of aggression. They're like, yeah, man, I can feel you, even though I don't understand any of the lifestyle they're having. I mean, when they're talking about hate, be it about racism, be it about cultural collision or whatever, I feel like, yeah, it's empowering me. And I really like the kind of riffing. For example, one of the last tracks where these words are really, really strong and there's kind of a strong statement, the hate is real. The hate is real is a kind of a song where you have these kind of Slayer type of riffs, and they are powerful, my friends. It sounds like, yeah, this is something that Slayer could have been doing, except that they are not. And at the same time, Ice-T is putting these strong words there, and I'm like, yeah, man, I just want to travel to Los Angeles and have a hi-fi with this guy. Maybe a beers in the joint, I don't know. Also, there's this reversion of Colors track, which seems like a timeless classic. I mean, it works so well. Can't really complain. To be honest, none of these tracks here, even the Ace of Spades track, none of them sound like a filler. So everything here is like nicely done. And because if it's like 35 minutes and then some seconds, you're like, hey, when it finishes, I'm gonna give it another spin. It doesn't bore you out because it's compact, it's nicely executed with a good production, and everything just clicks nicely. Is it the album of the year? Not for me, but is it a good album one? Yes, definitely solid release. So unless you're allergic to rap, unless you're allergic to crossover thrash metal, I don't think there's any reason why not to give this a chance. I know some people, even from the black metal background, that is, besides me, can dig body count, so I don't see why you couldn't enjoy it as well. Take a listen, my friend, and give yourself a chance instead of being just full of prejudice. This is all from Rauta. Take care. Enjoy.